start selling right now. You get a lot of opportunities when you are in school and college to sell. That's the easiest way to sell. You can say, I'm a student and you can sell anything. What kind of quantities do you get? Do you get a cash discount? What is the dealer network? What is the distributor network? Because most of you are in sales and marketing. So anybody is will come under the dealer distributor network model. There's a book, the name of the book is To Sell is Human. Anybody has read it? To Sell is Human. Daniel Pink, if I'm not wrong. So if it's fun and interesting today, you want a boring lecture or a fun lecture? No boring lecture, because boring is the serious stuff that will actually help you get into campus placement, get into companies. So you want the fun part of the boring part? Boring is very few, right? Good. See, you're not me. Okay.
It was very easy topic which I got when I was in the IM for investigation. So they gave me a topic for they gave me a time of 5 minutes to think about the topic and still for the same.
In GD?
Yes. It's like they give me the topic instantly over there and just 2 minutes to think something new.
Okay.
And it was
Easy for you, okay? Good.
I started the GD and in the meantime when the GD stops, like in the video, no one was speaking, then I also again started the GD again and I also continued the GD. That is important.
So you got selected in the GD?
Yeah, I was selected.
Good. Anybody else? Anyone wants to share? New. First time? Good. Welcome. You're not new. So why don't you guys come in front?
Earlier, so I have to rethink a point.
Somebody has already expressed what you wanted to say, right? Okay, good. Anybody else? Sir, new? You there, right? Follow. You gave a GD before this? No GDs. Anybody has given a GD? Not given a GD? Anybody has not at all appeared in a GD? Everybody has appeared in a GD, right? Why haven't? GD is group discussion. GD is group discussion for those of you who don't know. ठीक है ना? Not appeared in any GD. घर पे रहोगे भी होता है मम्मी पापा चाचा चाची सब मिलके वो भी जीडी है. That's a different kind of GD. Okay. When you say I want to marry this girl and they don't allow it, that is also a GD. You have to convince the panel. The panel is bigger than you. So okay. Anybody else? New ma'am. You have given a GD? Not at all. Never in your life. No group discussions. Getting into MBA requires GD? Okay. Not GD. Okay. GD? You have given? Good.
Sir, actually recently few weeks ago we have a school card activity. So in that we have a GD regarding the topic are business leaders born naturally or they are made in this role. So when I started the GD, it was in online mode. So I was having a constructive frame of mind. So my point was that the leaders are not born in this group, they are like I've experienced it. So like I still on that thought basis. So and I also want to know about others' point of view. It actually helped me and it actually shaped my thoughts.
Okay. Yes, sir. Sweetheart. Follow. Arey, bucket, sweetheart. Arey, wow. Follow.
So when I was in first semester, so when I was in first semester, so I actually had a GD, online GD. So there was a problem is smart work versus hard work. So our listeners, so we are taking a lot of about this study subjects. So actually I
Okay, okay. Any problems you have faced in GDs? One said that we couldn't find ideas to speak on GD. Yes? कोई तो बोला चाहिए मैडम बोलिए बोलिए generating ideas on the topic. So that's the point, right? Ideas also be covered. Yes.
Sir, I could find ideas, but my
Idea was already taken. So generating new ideas about the topic. Okay. Anybody else? Yes.
So when speaking, we are it's very different sounds in the
Good point. Okay. Anybody else?
Sometimes I take part in speaking with that fixed mindset, like I am trying to put my points on it, so that when I make a processing view, it's like making a very
Okay. Okay. It's like a fight. This is my point.
Sometimes, not about of that topic. Think about some war of Ukraine versus Russia. Thinking about something. So actually, I don't have much more point about that topic.
Okay. So finding out points about the topic is something that we have covered. Correct. So again, ideating about the topic. That's okay. That's one. Anybody else, sir? Establish, as in speak or frame idea generation or speaking the idea. Okay. So construction of the idea. Okay. Anybody else? Sir, fine collector. Yes. Yes, sir.
I can take some comments like Rustam has said that when the topic is new and I will find the ideas in what to say or not.
So that is one thing we have already covered, is basically finding out new ideas. Okay. Apart from that, anything that has to do with interaction, anything that has to do with speaking, anything that has to do with voice. My voice is little low, so people can't hear me in the GD. I am soft-spoken. Any soft-spoken students out here? Yes? No? Lot of people are soft-spoken. I am also soft-spoken. No. So, soft-spoken people, women mainly, but there are also guys who are quite soft-spoken. Okay. Anybody there? No one had a problem with soft-spoken. I was speaking very softly and people cut me in. I was trying to say something, one sentence, and somebody cut me in. Soft-spoken. Good. So I just want to understand. See, you have to tell me. So this is not a regular class, right? I don't have a history and syllabus. Whatever I am going to say, it's not that. It's very, very practical. Wherever you are getting stuck, you have to tell me you're getting stuck. Okay, if you don't tell me that you're getting stuck now, you're going to get stuck in the actual journey. So that's the problem. Nobody will make fun of you if you tell me here. Nobody. Okay? But if you get stuck in the actual GD, then that's a life-changing stuff. Okay? So any problems with GD? Yes, sir.
Sir, there is a problem with online meetings, sir. There is a technical use that we are saying something. Tell the person on the other side is saying that is what.
So that is something that was very relevant last 2 years. I don't think this year would be online GDs, but that you have to figure out whether you are audible or not. You have to practice beforehand. Suppose they have given a link, you create another link with a group of friends, speak, check your microphone, if it's okay, not okay, everything. Sometimes when we plug in our headphones, what happens is that mic is over here, right? So it is not picking up clearly. So you have to accordingly change it. That documentation you have to do beforehand. Okay, so my Kumadan is awake, so let me pull out of those. Okay, so before going into the details of GD, the boring part, let me start with something fun and something that most of you will have some questions or the other is creating ideas in the GD. Suppose for example, let's do a informal GD discussion, okay? Okay, so let me give a topic. This food is spicy. So this is the topic. Okay? 1 plus 1. Arey sir, I get it. 1 plus 1 equal to 3. Okay? So let's see some ideas coming up for this. आइए सर। Okay, let's hear some ideas about this. 1 plus 1 equal to 3. Okay, somebody said incorrect. Okay, so explain it. Okay, so suppose this is a GD and you have to present your views. Okay, so how will you frame the statement? Okay, why do you think it is incorrect? 1 plus 1 equal to? Who said? Who said? Mathematics said 1 plus 1 equal to. Okay, good. Anybody wants to? Yes, sir.
Sir, it is literally very, sir, not relevant, but in management side it is actually there. Because if one person is working and another joins, so the efficiency will be either greater than 3 or less than 3, but it will never be equal to 3.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else wants to share? You said yes. Sir, पीछे में बैठे आए ना. आइए ना. जगह है बैठ. गंदा है ना. और चेयर है यहाँ पे चेयर. आ जाओ. ये चेयर लेके जाओ. ये वाला चेयर. गंदा है चेयर. इसको लेके जाओ भाई. This is not good. Oh, okay. Then enough. Good. New. With their yesterday last week. So new. First time in the class. First time. Okay. Good. Yes. Go in. Yeah. You are saying. Okay, so in binary it is true. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else wants to share their views on this topic? Yes, sir.
Sir, it can be a perfect example of an error.
Okay.
While if you are doing some work, if you are not fully focused on the cell, this is why error can be placed. As in the management, we have no space for any error. As so, I think what we can focus will make them 1 plus 1 equals to 2, which is nothing really right.
Okay. Anybody from this side or the class? You don't speak, you guys don't speak. Ma'am, in brown spectacles. Yes, ma'am. Green. Yes, yes. Yeah. Okay. So I have got one second. Let me write it down. Okay. Let me see what have we have discussed. So first person said wrong. Second person was who? You said can be right, can be wrong. In management, okay.
Yes.
So in MGMP, in company management, okay. She was saying again wrong. So this is a bit covered. Somebody else was saying something. You said right.
Focus.
Huh?
So focus.
Focus. Okay. Anybody else? Yes.
It can be right if you see it in the form of the placing number. The first one is at place 1 and the second one is at place 2. You can add this will get it.
Okay. So we all talk mathematics. Okay. Let's start thinking a little different. Yes, ma'am. I showed you. No. Your name? I showed you, right? Good. Bolo. Sure. Sure, it cannot be 3. Bolo. 100% guaranteed. Sure. Sure. Okay. So let's think something different. So forget maths. Forget maths completely. Now think. So you guys need to know how to think. First is GD. You guys need to know how to think. You're giving 1 minute, 2 minutes before the GD. That's the time to think. Not the time to अच्छा बाकी लोग क्या कर रहे हैं, कौन क्या कर रहा है, ऐसा नहीं है. That's the time you have to think. And those 2 minutes are very critical. What do you think? So think for 1 minute. Do not think maths. Remove maths out of your mind and now think. ये लाइन को चुपचाप इधर भी चुपचाप. इंश्योरेंस का यस तो मोबाइल पे लगा इंश्योरेंस बेच रहा है यहाँ पे बैठ के. गुड. बेच लो. बेचने के बाद मेरे से यू कैन से बोलो मेरे को इंश्योरेंस बेचने के बीच में टाइम मिला बोलो. अरे मैथमेटिक्स भूल गया 5 मिनट के लिए. बोलो मैडम.
So suppose the first one is a man and second one is a woman, then 1 plus 1 equal to 3 is a woman.
Good. Something different. Okay. Next. Any other idea?
So it can be any idea
Out of the box.
because you always think that 1 plus 1 equals to 2.
Hmm.
So it's in our mind. It's mathematically correct that we do. But then here we want to do something extra to achieve something. This is the S difference in the
Okay. Okay. Maths भूल जाओ. Forget maths. Yes. Okay. You mix one product with another product with a third product. That's good. And lot of companies have done that. I gave the right example. No, I gave the right example, right? हाँ. अरे तुमको नहीं आया था. तुमको कैसे पता चलेगा? Right ना? So Tide when it launched in US, I gave the example. No. Tide when it launched again फिर से sales marketing में आ जाएगा, फिर से issue हो जाएगा, फिर अभी तक पता चल जाएगा. But I want to say. So Tide, what happened there? It was a new product. Okay. So Tide was launched in the market. And when it was launched in the market, it was extremely good in terms of features and qualities. So if you use any other detergent and if you use Tide gives a better result. Okay? So logically, Tide has to sell. Right? If Tide gives a better result than any other product, then Tide has to sell. Logically. Right? So they put a lot of money in promotion, a lot of money in ads, this, that. It was not selling. Good morning. Yes, please. So it was not selling. They again put more money in the ads with very little difference in sales. It was again not selling. The product is good. Product is from a branded company. The product is better than other products in the market, similar category. Still not selling. Now, they try to figure out why it is not selling. Okay? And this is the result of the research that they had. So they used to go to a home and observe people washing their clothes, drying them, the complete process. Okay? So they did this research in the US. What they figured out is they put the powder in the water, they soaked the clothes, pulled it out, they washed it, they hung it in the sun, it dried, they came back. And when they were folding, so usually the women of the house, that was long back. Now women don't do all of this stuff, men also do all of this stuff. So women, when they folded the sheets, they used to smell it. You're right. When you freshly wash something, you start smelling the product. True or not? Right? So it was not about the product quality. It was basically the product did not have a smell. What they did is, along with the product, whatever they had, they just added a little fragrance. Jasmine, rose, and it took off. It took off in a massive way. Right? This is a very important example of how the human mind works. So a product is there, one, you added a little bit of perfume and you made it in a blockbuster product. Perfume had nothing to do with the cleanness, it has nothing to do with the whiteness, nothing at all. It just made you feel better. Okay? Example, another example. Have you gone to a 5-star? Anybody has gone to a 5-star? Just walked in sometimes. Huh? Yes, no, yes. Where have you been? Taj. IDC. Taj Marriott IDC. Okay? When you walk there, okay, I'll take another example. Have anybody gone to a bakery? Okay? Confusion is there. Have you walked into a bakery? Right? Have you ever observed that in a bakery, in other shops, okay, the front is closed. There's a door, you enter through the door. In a bakery, the front is open. Observe why? Because of the smell. Because of the good smelling bread, the smell that comes out, right? Has smell got to do anything with the bread, the quality? In Taj, Marriott, every individual hotel chain will have their unique perfume or the scent. Unique one. So if you visit all Tajes across the globe, it will have the same fragrance when you walk into the room. Why? Has the fragrance to do anything with the rest of the hospitality that is there? You are going to spend one night there, go, come out. Nothing to do with the smell, right? These are examples of how thinking different can actually help a business or a company. So when you are taking a GD, people on the panel, they are looking at how well you are expressing your ideas, how well can you think. And that is why I have given you this topic. If you look at mathematics, this is not right, right? 1 plus 1 is not equal to 3. But if you think in other ways, can you think in other ways? So I'll give you another 1 minute. 1 minute, okay? Think and come up with different ideas about the topic. Think. Socho. So much of socho. Socho. When I say think, people close their eyes as if in deep thinking. They're actually sleeping. So don't do that. Think. Anything, random thoughts, crazy thoughts, anything that you want to think. Okay, think, not ask, think, write it down, think and write it down. Whatever you want to think and write it down. One plus one equal to 3. Have any of you meditated? Meditation? No one? No meditation. So meditation, what it says is that when you are in meditation, so when you are talking to friends, when you are talking to people, when you are in a place, when you are in a crowd, okay, you are very focused. When you are meditating, that's the moment where you are not focused at all. When people say don't think of anything and you start thinking all the other nonsense things that come to you, right? So similarly, when I say don't think of mathematics, you only think of mathematics, 1 plus 1. Don't do that. The big elephant. Big elephant. So don't think of maths. Think something else, something different, completely different. Or think in terms of management, think in terms of data, think in terms of countries, think in terms of Ukraine war, think in terms of population, think in terms of agriculture, whatever you want to think. 1 plus 1 equal to 3. Sorry. Oh, 2% with the assault rifle is equal to 3% with the pistol. Okay. Interesting. Yes.
1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Because of inflation, the value of 1 plus 1 is 3.
Good. Okay. So we have come to economics now. Okay. Good. Yes. Hello. Follow.
Suppose someone have the 2 head and he just marry someone other who has 1 head, then total is 3, 1 plus 1.
Someone who has 2 heads. Head. Ravan.
Sir, দুটো মাথা থাকে না এক একটা মানুষ এক একটা মানুষের স্যার থাকে ডিসকভারিতে দেখা যায়
Good. Anybody else? Yes, sir. Profit. What profit? Okay. Okay. Neelu. Bolo.
So my topic is gossip.
Gossip. Okay. Yes. 1 plus 1 can be 3, 4, 10, 12, 100 also.
Yes, means in management, if a person, suppose we are gossiping about him.
Him. Okay. Okay.
So in a company, I thought he's getting promoted in 3.5 months. He is getting promoted by year. And suppose he has done something very good, that's why he gets promoted. But I thought like, and we are gossiping like, how can he get promoted? I'm much more capable than him.
Okay.
And must have, sorry, must have a concession that I don't know who oiling করছে বা লজিস্টিক খুব ভালোভাবে কথা বলছে that's why he's getting promoted.
Okay. I got the gist. Okay. Yes. No, I did. Got it. Okay, good. Yes. Keep on it. Currency. Okay. Yes. Yes, ma'am. History. History or history to commerce. Okay, buy to get 1. Okay. Anybody else has any interesting ideas? Anybody else has any interesting ideas? Sir? Sir.
Suppose if we mix 2 different colors, we can get another color.
Third color. Okay. Okay, good. So now you guys have started thinking. Okay, and this is very important. So we have got about 5 minutes or 10 minutes to think. In GD, we get 2 minutes to think. Okay. So let us have a little bit of structure in how to think. Okay. So this is the fun part. This is not the boring part. So let us have some structure on how to think. कोई सीखा है? जब छोटे थे how to think? नहीं. Class 1, class 2. Nobody has taught us how to think, right? Okay. So, but this is the most critical aspect of any career. How to think. And GD will show how well you can think. Okay. So let's start with how to think. Yes. So has anybody read this book by Edward D. Bono, Six Thinking Hats? Anybody has read the book? Good. So, this is based on the book by Edward D. Bono on 6 thinking hats. Okay? Basically on how to think. So how do we think normally? So this is the way we usually think. Okay? So this is a traditional thinking. People will follow the same path. So when we started 1 plus 1 equal to 3, all of you are thinking about maths. So somebody said maths, wait for maths. It happens in the GD also. Somebody starts from one stream and you go on that stream only. You don't think at all in any other way. Right? And this is parallel thinking. Parallel thinking is basically thinking about all the different ways that you can think about on a particular topic. You experiment with that topic. You try to think on the economics part, the mathematics part, on agricultural, on social impact, on cultural impact, all the different aspects of the particular topic. And that is what will give you the edge over any other student in the GD. It's very, very important. Extremely important to understand that this is the one that will give you the edge. For you, it will give you the edge in that particular GD if you can think on different lines. Okay? Yes.
Suppose you are looking at a topic and you know that for the topic is the right pathway. Okay, like suppose there is one topic and you know the ADC is not the strong part and the for is the one which is right.
Example?
So I don't have an example. I have been to a GD and I have given a topic. Suppose an example is COVID is destroy the traditional water crystals.
Okay.
So in the for it's actually very right.
Okay.
But the whole GD is talking about for, but should I come up with some point which is against it or will it have a negative impact on the overall GD performance of mine that as I am talking against the topic?
Okay. So I will cover this in detail when you go into the main crux core GD stuff. But GD is not a platform, one, to agree to what everybody is saying, two, to fight either side, okay? So you have to place your ideas, your thoughts in the GD. GD is just how well you can think on a particular topic. That's what GD measures. It does not measure whether you are against the topic, for the topic, whatever. So if you have a valid point, you can definitely present that in the GD. Okay? Okay. So, these are the different types of thinking, logical and analytical. That is what we are doing in maths. 1 plus 1 equal to 2. Somewhat creative. Some people started thinking a little creatively. Like to talk things out. Basically a discussion. Okay? There are different ways of thinking. Bounce ideas of people. I have thought of something. I'll share it with somebody. What do you think about this? It can be a mentor, it can be a guy, it can be a friend, it can be a parent, it can be anybody. Okay? These are different ways of thinking. So everybody has a different thinking style, but mostly we think logical and analytical. Okay? Human beings are rational. We have economics here. In India, we have economics here. Right? So the rational human being is the first premise of economics. Yes, no? Yes? Yes. I also read? Yes. Still true. Everywhere you go, when you study economics, everywhere in the world. Okay? But apart from being rational, human beings are also great deal of emotion. Okay? So, lot of times when you're talking in the GD, you'll see your emotions coming out. Okay? Somebody is telling you an idea and you don't agree with the idea. You clench your fist and you say, no, that is wrong. Right? You do it in the GD. I want to oppose what you're saying. I do not agree at all with your point. Anybody said that in the GD? Yes, no? Not like that. How do you like? So this is aggressive. I have seen videos where people start fighting, shouting, fish market. Undercoast is a different level that we cannot go with that. But I have seen GDs where people start fighting because they're so passionate about a particular topic. Okay? GD again, you have to be very, very balanced, very well thought out, and you should have creative ideas. Okay. But this is a funny slide. So just before we move on to 16 hats, this is where we best find our best thinking in the shower, in the dreams, and during the bus journey. Right? Apart from that, you never think in the GD. Yes? You always look into others' notes and say, "Acha, ye kya likh rahe hai?" And then you start thinking about it. Okay? So let's go on to the main topic: 6 thinking hats. Let me give you a story, not story, an introduction to 6 thinking hats. So why hats? Topi, hats. So when we do 6 thinking hats, each hat, there are 6 hats of 6 different colors. Okay? When you're thinking about a topic, each color hat represents a particular way of thinking about the topic. Okay? Some can be a logical thinking, some can be a creative thinking, some can be a cons thinking, some can be a pro thinking, some can be wishful thinking, different ways of thinking about a particular topic. So each hat represents a way of thinking. We said put on your thinking cap, right? So when you put on one particular hat, one color, you have to think in only that direction. Okay? So how does it go? Here it is. So these are the 6 colors of the hats. Okay? 6 colors: black, white, yellow, green, blue, and red. This represents different styles of thinking. Okay? This is something that you have to get into your mind, that these are the ways to think about a particular topic. Every hat will represent a particular way of thinking. So let's first start with the red hat. Okay? So this is the red hat. When you're given a particular topic, okay, red hat indicates your emotions, your passions about the topic, okay, your feelings about a particular topic. So it says, how do you feel about the topic of the suggestion? Think on those lines. How do you feel? Not how does the world feel. How do you feel about that particular topic? What is your gut feeling? A very good example, and this is a very old GD topic, but again I'll give you. Women are better managers than men. The moment I tell the topic, people have a different emotion inside, right? Huh? That is exactly what you have to write down. When you are putting on the red hat, so much. Thinking. Writing. When I say women are better managers than men, the first gut instinct that you have is red. Yes, no? Yes. So how do you feel about the topic? Write it down. That's red hat. So you put on the red hat and you say, okay, let me figure out how I feel about the topic. What is my gut instinct? Okay? Do not explain yourself. Do not justify. Do not think too much. The first thing that comes to your mind, you write. That's the red hat thinking. It's emotional thinking. Okay? Next. The why. Okay. So the red hat again. Okay. So these are the set of questions that you can think about on the red hat. What are you feeling now? Did your feelings change? How? Prejudices, hunch, intuition, and which way do you like based on your feelings? So all about feelings, intuition. All about feelings, intuition. So this is the red hat, emotional part. Write it down. Don't write the questions. Write down what the red hat represents because it's very important that you know this. Okay? Write it down. It will help you. So okay, let's go on to the topic of women are better managers than men. Okay, somebody wants to say the first feeling that came into your mind. Yes, on. Yes, ma'am.
I felt very positive about it, very optimistic about it.
Okay, feeling good.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Feministic.
One from the women's side. Men. Anybody? Yes. Yeah. Men are better managers than women. Task force of the country कहाँ से आ गया? Fighting के लिए प्रॉब्लम है, कुछ तो लड़ाई करो। Anybody, women, any lady? Yes, ma'am. Women's नहीं, women. हाँ. Who said? Who said? Yes. Okay. Okay. Women are more sensitive, so men are better managers. Yes.
Women multitask a lot more than men. They do a lot of tasks at the same time.
Okay.
So they are better managers.
Yes. नहीं अच्छा okay. बोलो. Men are broad-minded. Okay.
So this is a prejudice.
Women are narrow-minded.
So this is a prejudice.
Okay. Okay. बोलो. Women cannot do all of this stuff. Good. Anybody? Yes. Correct. Okay. So managing the home. Yes. Men. Anybody from the men say no. तुमको हो गया. Somebody else. Oh, you have to say. Okay.
Sir, they have too much of tantrums.
Yes. Okay. Women, me. One. Women, anybody? Anybody wants to share? Women have more tantrums, he's saying. Anybody? Dominating, okay. Yes. Junin. Adjusting. Okay. Women, me, women. Anybody? Yes? Women can compromise, men cannot. 1 second. Yes, sir. Right. Huh? Who is flexible? Men are more flexible. Okay. Here. One more point. Empathetic. Sympathetic. Okay, sympathetic. Yes.
Sir, we have mentioned this is not good.
Huh?
They mentioned that they are sympathetic. So how can you move ahead?
Okay, sympathy cannot move you ahead. Yes. No more points. Come on, girls.
Sir, you want?
बोलो कुछ तो बोलो 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 can tolerate more. Okay, men. Anybody here? Okay, लोगों चांस देखो बोलो men. हाँ.
Women have a lot of responsibilities, so every time something will be left out. So if they are going to complete all that, so if they
always something.
Okay. So they cannot be better managers. Okay, women. Last question, follow.
So the very wrong insight is the group is already divided into men and women and not a single man is talking on behalf of the woman. So that
Good. Okay. Anybody else? Men? अरे किसी और को बोलने दो यार. अरे बोलो.
Sir, neutral, sir, neutral.
अच्छा बोल रहे हैं बोलो. Men are more hardworking than women. Men are more hardworking than women. बोलो भाई. Can handle any situation. Men cannot handle any situation. Okay, so he's saying when a lady gets married, why should she ask for? Hey, one second. No, Kathy. Yes. His point is when women get married, they ask for the man's salary slip.
but women are also earning now.
Correct. Women also earning. Okay. Yes.
So the male and women are handling the lesser amount of service responsibilities of the woman. No.
Okay. Father is not paying a lesser amount of service fees because she's a woman. Yes. You see all को बोलो. बोलो. Sir. Next second. बोलो. अच्छा बोलो.
Some hardworking or what only can be done by the men.
Hardworking part is already done by the men.
Some hardworking.
Some hardworking part. Okay.
So men want a homely woman, someone who stays at home and not work outside. That's why a woman will naturally ask, what's your salary?
Okay. So now let's stop here because a lot of emotions have flown. So that's the red hat. Okay. A lot of emotions have flown. Okay. Now calm down, chill, do a meditation for 30 seconds, and come back to the group. Huh? Nobody has won. GD is not about winning. So nobody has won. No. Huh?
Neutral.
Neutral. Okay. Neutral. Okay. Emotions are still flowing. Acha. Emotions are still flowing. That is what I'm saying. So that's the red hat. Okay. 30 more seconds to come back to the class. Meditate for 30 seconds. Okay, close your eyes, think of you're sitting by the river, cool, calm breeze is flowing. The water is very calm. Okay, cold air is flowing. And you come back to the room. Cool yourself down. Okay, done. Okay, so this is exactly what happens in a GD when you're emotional about a particular topic. Okay? And this is something that is to be avoided. Whenever you're thinking of a particular topic, you are present your ideas, present your thoughts. So this is one way of thinking, the red hat. Okay? Good. We should stop here and not let this topic go any further. Okay. So next is the white hat. Okay. The white hat is the information hat. So basically, what are the facts? I said facts, not your inference about the fact. I said facts, not your information about the fact. Okay? So what can be a fact? GDP. There's a number. Right? That's what I'm not saying what is your thought about the GDP, is it going up, no. Facts, statistics, stats. When you're given a particular topic, say for example, you gave a topic that COVID is killing the traditional workforce. Do you have data? You have data. How many people want to work from home? How many people want to go back to office? Is it affecting the business in any way? In percentage terms, do you have the data? That is white hat. So white hat is completely neutral. It is based on facts and facts and facts and facts and facts only, nothing else. So when you put on the white hat, you think about only facts about a particular topic. Okay? I will not take an example of white hat because many of you will not have the data. Okay? Any topic which is not an abstract topic will have some data. 1 plus 1 equal to 3 is an abstract topic. Okay? Apart from that, anything else will have data. Say demonetization will have data on it. GDP will have data on it. Anything related to foreign trade will have data on it. Ukraine war will have data on it. So all of this are stats. You have to think about stats. If you know stats very good, that is why you have to read newspapers. How many of you read newspapers in the morning? See. Every day from now on, every day, morning, read one business newspaper. One business newspaper every day in the morning. It can be ET, it can be Financial Express, it can be any newspaper that comes to you. Kitna rupees is 3 rupees. 3 rupees, right? 3 to 30, 90 rupees, huh? 30 is 10. So 90 plus another 30. 120 rupees approximately, right? 120 rupees. Okay, don't go out one day. Don't have Chinese food on one day. So you will get 1 month entire full of newspaper. Subscribe to the next 6 months, 1 year, read a newspaper every day in the morning. When I say newspaper, I am not talking about you take the telegraph, remove the main pages, go to the TT. Don't do that. Don't go to TT. Okay? Go to the business section. So business newspaper, the ones with this saffron and the pink color ones. Okay? You know, ऐसा दिखने में जो रहता है, not the white ones. Okay, not Unisui, not Shamula, these are not counted. Okay? Business newspaper, every day in the morning, go back home and subscribe for the next 6 months. It will get delivered to wherever you are staying. Read the paper every day in the morning, your data will become stronger. Your stats, you will get to know stats around. If I say, startups which are getting into IPOs are a whitewash for the country.
Startups which are getting
Into IPOs. Okay? Now do you have data? Do you have ATM data? Do you have Zomato data? Do you have any data? No. Because it's not read the newspaper. So you have to read the newspaper. That is where you get the data. So can I get a show of hands who will subscribe to newspapers? क्या हुआ? नहीं है घर पेपर आता सबके घर में? It comes, not comes. Don't go to online read. Don't do this. Because when you go into the online read, you open up, you got a bit thanks, your pop-up will come. Hey, चल आज घूमने चलते हैं. You click on the WhatsApp. Let's get ready and go out. Don't do that. Take a physical paper and read. Okay? Lot of times when you find something interesting, cut out that portion and keep it in a scrap. Very important, very interesting. Do this for the next 6 months. I can assure you, any important topic on which data is required, you can give your 100% on that. And not individually for you, but your rankings as a college will go up because people, the HRs who are coming into the institute, will have better idea, will have better views about the college. Do that. Okay? Subscribe to our newspaper. Okay. Or we can do one thing, we can have a nominee from here, who can collect 120 rupees for everybody and subscribe for everybody. You can do that also. Library में 1, 2, 3 morning, what do you do? Newspaper comes at 7 o'clock. Rather it comes at 4:30, but you get it at 6:30. 6:30 to 7:30, 1 hour you read. What do you do in the morning? Sleep. Don't sleep. Read the newspaper. So these are the questions that are there. On the white hat. Who, what, when, where. So rate was feelings. This is nothing to do with feelings. This is all stats, data, stats, data. Nothing else about it. Okay? Yes.
So why there is only 5 different knowledge, why the how is relationship? So who, what,
How can be a different way of interpretation? How is your interpretation maybe a lot of times? Okay? So don't get into how. These are all practical. Who, what, where, when. Very specific, has a particular answer to it. Okay, I'll move on to yellow. This is interesting. Yellow is a sunshine hat. Positive and constructive about a particular topic. Okay, Acha, very important. So when you are putting on a hat, can you put on another hat? No. You have to first take off the previous hat, then put on the next hat. Right? So here we have yellow. It is about effectiveness in getting a job done. What are the benefits? What are the advantages? Pros, positive things about it. Okay? Yes, no. Yes, give me an example. Okay, let's take the example of this guy. COVID has impacted the traditional workforce. Can you think positive stuff about COVID? COVID era, not COVID. COVID, the 2 years of COVID. Can you think positive stuff about COVID? Let's see. Hey, same guys are speaking. Koi aur, nahi, koi aur. Yes, follow.
It's an improvement in digital payment.
Digital payment, okay. Family, okay. Yes. And same guys are speaking, yes. Reduction of pollution, okay, yes. Okay, more conscious, okay. Yes. Hygiene maintenance, yes. There. Flexibility, okay. Alright. New girl. खोया हुआ है चांद सितारे में खोया हुआ है बोलिए मैडम they become more creative who they okay so pursuing your hobbies okay yes you understand the value of time. Do you understand the value of time? You came in late today, no? Anybody else? Yes, sir. How to manage? Limited resources or limited things? Okay. So basically managing with lesser cost. Okay. Yes. Healthy food? I was having chips, so packet of chips every day. How is it healthy? Good, good point. Anybody else? Follow. Multitasking, okay. Importance of savings, okay. Online courses, good. Somebody has started something. Yes. Enrich yourselves. Invest in yourselves. What did you invest in? Good, very good. Anybody from that side? अरे सर बोलिए ना कुछ. आप तो हाँ आपकी बात तो कोई नहीं है. बोलिए. Online courses. Okay, ma'am. Second. Company has reduced its costs, electric costs. Yes, sir. अरे जोर से बोलो. I don't hear properly. I have a problem in hearing. Still not able to hear.
Sir, people get more time to think things.
Hey, can you hear?
Sir, people get more time to think things.
What are your mic?
Sir, people get more time to think things.
Do new things. Okay. Yes, sir.
Sir, I learned to do some household jobs.
Good. What did you learn?
Sir, like washing clothes.
Oh, good. Good ironing. Okay, and mopping. Okay, cooking food. That you do. What did you do? You should teach me something. So during COVID, I know how to make Maggi. Number one. I know how to omelette I can do, and one more thing I can do. That's what. Tea. happens automatically.
Coffee.
Coffee. Coffee is also set. Hot water, cold coffee, done.
So you also learn how to boil eggs. Perfect boil eggs.
Perfect. You learn. Okay. I still cannot make perfect boiled eggs. So this happened. So I was supposed to make rice. So I took water in the pan. I put rice, and then I let it boil. Then I went back to my room. It was boiling. I forgot about it. I was on a call. I came back. The rice was all burnt. But more than that, the pan was burnt. The pan had a lid. The lid had a plastic cap on top to pull the lid. That got completely melted. The pan was completely red, hot, red. It was red. It was burning for 30-40 minutes. It completely burned off. And that's my end of making rice. I never make rice ever after that. None whatsoever. So, yes, anybody has done anything else? COVID. So you see, yes sir. Okay. Introspection. Who am I? Who am I? What am I doing in the world? Right? Yes, no. There is a, if you go to YouTube, there is a video by Swami Sarvabri Anandji on Who Am I? You can watch it. He is part of the Vedanta Society for Homeopathy. You can go and listen to the lecture. Good. Good, good. No, it's good. Very good. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
We know the importance of oxygen.
Okay.
And India, I think its importance in the world for making medicine.
Medicine. Okay. So India has established herself in as a good supplier of medicine. Good. She has got very differently now. Okay. That's very good. Yes. Okay. Atmanirbhar Bharat. Okay.
So a lot of startups digital startups, Instagram shops.
Okay. Now that is a little dicey. I can talk about that a lot, but that's a little dicey. Yes. Social work. Good. Correct. Social work. Okay. So we have found out a lot of positive things about the topic. So we have not touched upon all the difficult stuff, right? COVID had a lot of bad face to it also. We have not done it. We have only touched upon the positive. So this is how you have to think. So when you're putting on a particular hat, think only on those lines. So these are some questions that you can write down, you can think about when you put on the yellow hat. Benefits. What is it good about? What is the positive outcome? What's the value? Okay? Does anybody have a work experience? Yes, no? One, two, three. So whenever the company comes up with a new product, the first thing is ये काम नहीं करेगा. Yes, no? Whenever a company comes up with a new product, if people who are into workplace, they will know. First thing is ये काम नहीं करेगा. Market is this, market is that, this will not work. Okay? So that is where the fifth comes. Can this be made to work? What are the different ways that I can make it to work? Okay? A lot of times GD can happen not only on a topic but also on a case study. Case study based GD, right? There you will think about different positive things about the particular question that comes up after the case study. Okay? So let's go to the next one. Next one is black, I think. Yes, black. So now you open the yellow hat. Okay? And you put on the black hat. Black hat is caution, negatives, pitfalls. What can go wrong about a particular topic? Okay? This is all about the black hat. Dangers, risk involved. Write this down. So let me take a clue from this lady. What I mean, I don't know. Startups during the COVID season. Okay. In the topic we said startups and IPO. Okay. Now put on the black hat and start thinking. Startups and IPO. Put on the black hat and start thinking. Yes. Initial public offering, IPO. You have not heard of IPO? IPO? IPO. So a lot of companies, okay, so IPO is basically when a company is formed, it's mostly private limited, so basically it is confined to, very simply I am telling explaining, so it's basically limited to a particular group of people, okay, or directors and other stuff. When they go into an IPO, the public, that is people outside the company, can also take in shares of the company. So they're basically selling the shares of a particular company and launching it in the market. That's my opinion. Very simply put, there are a lot of different nuances to it.
So, due to the pandemic or due to lockdown, maybe the product sales must have reduced, but there were a lot of improvements made as well. So, if
Okay.
for
So my topic is startups and IPO.
startups and
Hey, okay, let me frame it in this way. IPOs are not a great exit strategy for startups.
so, like the one.
IPOs are not a great exit strategy for startups. Yes. Now what is exit strategy? Greedy paper? Yes. Put on the black hat and think about the topic. So when startups go into IPOs, are there any problems with it? Are there any pitfalls? Are there any dangers? Are there any risks? So now this is a topic which is not very common to all. So many of you might not be able to speak, but those who are able to speak, please do. Yes, sir.
So from the past experiences, starting from 20 years, as the IPO was launched, it crashed down at a very great downfall, sir. Not even that, the stock operating body has also issued a show cause to pay in the why things are happening. Not only that, sir, there are many examples in the past as well. It was launched IPO, but after they raised the money from the market, they actually eventually the stock prices came down. Because it cannot be at that point of time, because
Okay.
the setup and a startup has a very different mindset and very different way of execution of the work.
Okay. Okay. Anybody? Yes.
Not necessarily that once you start a company, you need to register yourself as an IPO-based company, because the SEBI has set guidelines. First of all, you need to be a 10-year based company. Once you have been in the market for 10 years, you need to be at a certain profitability level. Then only you can apply for IPO. So this is thinking negatively, because every startup would want their IPO. It's a brand thing, like being in front of the public and issuing shares and other things.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else want to share their views? Anybody else? So now you need to know about the topic. So it is a little deeper topic. Okay? Yes, go.
I feel like, as you say, like companies, I feel that not good, the opportunity to what is promoted or the expectations from the company, but they actually good, because you know, take the example
I'm
of
saying that only thing, the risks, dangers, negatives, errors, only black hat. So right now we are talking only about black hat, okay? Only the negative dangers, risks involved, yes. So what is the issue? What is the danger? What is the risk? Okay. 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 Sunani there.
created
Okay. So it's harming the Indian investors. Okay.
That's what I was asking. So we have to speak one of these because the retailers or because of the promoters.
See, this is a topic that I've given. Okay. You think about the risks, dangers of IPOs of startups. Risks, dangers involved. It can be retailers' risks, it can be the promoters' risks, it can be the directors' risks, it can be the employees of the company, their risk, whatever. So think about the risk, dangers, negative parts. Yes, sir.
Some more scams, sir.
Scams like
Like a company is raising the fund, after that it's not performing, so it runs away to another country.
okay, okay,
In fact, the retailers like case of Paytm actually invested a lot. Paytm at that time Paytm was the biggest IPO. Like as my friend said, like after the listing of IPO, the Chinese investors like SoftBank and other global management they just the company because of that like a huge downfall. So as a result, the retail investor who invested that IPO to get a huge return, they are suffering. And also as Paytm invested at a higher valuation. So like now the image of the company is badly affected. So
okay, okay, good. Any other point? Anybody else has any idea of the topic? No, no, you have. Anybody else has any idea of the topic? No. You guys have to read papers, read newspapers. Yes. Yes. So, the investors' money goes down the drain. Okay. So these are the black hat questions that you can think of, and this is the way that you should think when you're putting on the black hat. What should we be cautious about? Consequences of any particular action? Difficulties, why this won't work, didn't work, what you dislike, what are the risks? So all the negative stuff. Okay? Let's go on to the next tab, the green one. Green one is creative thinking. Thinking out of the box. Thinking tangent, thinking different. Not the traditional thinking. Completely different ways of thinking. Okay? Like I gave an example of time in the morning. Adding a perfume or a fragrance to the detergent. That's a creative way of thinking. Right? Green hat is about creative thinking. It is about growth. It is about new ways of exploring a particular topic. Okay? So let me put this question. Has anybody heard of Ola? Yes, everybody? So let's have a topic like what creative advertising can Ola Electric do to promote their electric bikes or scooters? Okay, this is the topic. Okay, creative advertising methods that Ola Electric can take up to promote their electric bikes and scooters. Okay, think for 1 minute and write it down if you want. Then we'll discuss about it. I think everybody is familiar with the topic. Because if you open Facebook and Instagram, the first thing that pops up is Ola Electric getting burned. Okay? So, I think everybody knows about the topic. Yes, let's start. Some new hands. This time some new hands. Bolo. 12.
you take 80 rupees, 100 rupees per liter, and I invest 100 rupees. I can use this bike in 1 month.
नहीं, कोई और? Somebody else? बोलिए मैडम, आप बोले नहीं बहुत दिन से, बोलिए। I forgot your name. प्रीति, very good, बोलो। Creative ways that Ola Electric can promote or advertise the electric bikes or scooters. Right? Again, madam, I'm aware. बोलिए, बोलिए मैडम। सोचिए ना टॉपिक में। I said creative ways to advertise. And you can think of anything on the topic? Creative ways. Yes, sir.
We should promote the Ola electric scooter by telling the customer that it is eco-friendly and it is good for the environment. It is budget friendly also.
Okay. Ruko. Who else? Who else? हाँ जी ये नहीं हुआ बोलो एक सेकंड बोलो हाँ different colors that is applicable for all kinds of bikes and scooters.
Customer reference.
Huh?
In customer reference. Who is buying the scooty?
Okay, so you can get different types of colors. That can be a way of advertising. Okay. Yes, ma'am. So that any bike is available in all cities. Ola Electric is not more easily available than any other bikes and scooters. So, creating advertising methods for like नहीं बोलो हाँ No, I am saying creative ways of promoting and advertising Ola electric bikes and scooters.
So nowadays, oil prices
Okay. Okay, my fuel price is one part. Yes, ma'am.
Sir, they can provide different features like sir, charger and GPS.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. They can. I didn't get your point. Come again. What is I didn't get the status? Driving school. Yes. What?
Sir, they can also provide.
Speak in Bengali. If you want to speak in Bengali, I want to understand the idea. Bolo. That's the way of promoting. Okay. Yes, sir. Thanks. Bolo. No, it doesn't require driving license. This I'm not really sure. It doesn't require driving license. Okay. Yes.
Sir, first we need to advertisement about the top speed and the mileage and the kilometer and other sleek design and
So features of the product.
features of the product, then
Okay.
we can say that it is a pollution free product, and we don't need to every time we don't need to do your pollution, and then we target the customer segment that are using the old bike, who are using old models of the cars that are polluted the environment. Then we advertisement on the in digital marketing, like we can based on the segmentation, we can target in YouTube. Then we can post it on the Facebook page, and we can run ads on the Facebook. That's the way we can.
Okay. Yes, sir. Okay, good. So celebrity influencing platforms. Yes. Anybody else? Sir, मोबाइल में कुछ नहीं है कुछ मोबाइल में? अरे वाह. Okay. Okay.
Sir, sound like reward. In reward bike, they are giving sound, customized sound.
Customized sound. Okay. Yes.
Sir, easy to go through clustered areas.
Easy to go to a
Clustered areas, sir.
clustered area. Congested area. Okay. बोलो ये बहुत दिन से रैली. Okay. Okay. Yes. Bigger boot space that can be promoted. Okay. Reverse gear. ऐसा होता है? Reverse gear. Good. Scooter. You have reverse gear related scooter. Interesting. Okay. Light in weight. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
So why have a recurring cost on petrol when you can actually buy an electric scooter? It is a one-time investment that you don't have to make further investments ever. And second,
इलेक्ट्रिसिटी फ्री में आता है.
इलेक्ट्रिसिटी तो मतलब घर में आता है, लेकिन रिकरिंग
पैसा तो देना पड़ता है ना इलेक्ट्रिसिटी का.
लेकिन वो बहुत कम है in comparison to the
हाँ,
one of
so
petrol.
that depends. Yes.
Sir, tracking system.
So you don't have to get your license.
Tracking systems. Okay, good. So see, we have started thinking on a grading way. Okay. So let's go to the questions that you can think about when you put on the green hat. What if? What is good about? What is the value of? How can we make this work? What are the alternatives? What else can we do? Okay. Very easy. Creative thinking. Yes. No. Yes. No. Huh?
You are changing the size.
Okay. Green hat. Yes. Okay. So we'll move on to the next one, that is the blue one. So what's blue? Blue is what we say the management hack. So blue is basically organizing the thought process, organizing a particular set of ideas. Okay? Streamlining it, putting it in place. prioritizing. Suppose for example, a company has discussed on, say, the green hat, found out so many different ways of marketing an Ola electric scooter. Now you put on the blue hat and you say, which is our topmost priority right now? Okay? So let us start with this top idea first. Do this next, then this, then this. So it's prioritizing, thinking, organizing. So when you get into a topic, this hat is for planning. So basically when you're thinking initially and you start a topic, then you can put a direction to the way the topic can be discussed. When you're summarizing a GD, you're basically taking points from everybody and summarizing the GD. That's the blue hat. Primarily that's the way the blue hat works. Okay? Very simple, very easy. Okay. So these are the questions that come in when you are looking at the blue hat. Suppose for example, somebody said, let us promote by doing a rally. Then what are the steps that you need to take to make a rally? That is the action plan, right? So you need bikes, you need people, you need advertising, you need this, that, location, place, database, all of this. That's the action plan. Acting upon a particular idea. Red, then white, then yellow, then black, then green, then blue. Okay. So which hat is this? First one. Retooling will take a minimum of 6 months. I am unhappy with the merger. Red. Put your hands down. Black. Put your hands down. Why red and why black? Why red?
Sir, it's my gut feeling. Sir, it's my gut feeling.
Okay. Why black? Thought is negative. But is it a danger? Is it a risk?
No, sir.
It's a emotion, right? Emotion is red. Next is our product is the most expensive on the market.
White. Information.
Anybody has any other?
Yellow.
Why yellow?
Sir, it's a black version, sir. It's yellow, white.
Positive.
Sir, black.
Why positive? Why yellow? A product is the most expensive on the market. What is good? What is? Yes. White. Why yellow? Let me ask. Why yellow? Yes.
It's a black system.
Why black?
Because it's dangerous, sir. Because too expensive.
Who said? Who said?
Too much expensive. No one.
That is your feeling. I am saying, so it is 12:25, we come back at 12:30. 5 minutes. Me too campaign. Me too campaign. Me too campaign. Hey, your part is me too campaign. We are all comfortable with the topic. Me too campaign only. In a GD, the panel does not matter, so it is a discussion among yourselves. So no need to look at me and all. In a GD, it's a discussion amongst yourselves. But people, but I'm not going to hear you louder. Did everybody hear what they say? Why? You're talking. I can hear from here. You guys are talking amongst yourselves. What was the GD discussion about? Can somebody say? No, not you. Others here. Audience. Work-life balance, right? So the topic was there is nothing called work-life balance. And they were trying to discuss of whether there is work-life balance or not work-life balance. But they forgot that there were 6 thinking hats. Okay? Nobody has shared any data till now. Nobody took any positive stuff about either working more or giving more to life. Okay? Nobody did a creative thinking. Nobody put on the green hat. Right? Are there creative ways of work-life balance? Right? Remote working, flexible working hours, working from vacation, working from home, etc., etc., etc. Red hat, your emotions. So this was fully a red hat GD, where everyone is very passionate about what they were saying and they were continuously discussing on that side. So only one portion, so only one topic was discussed, which is there work-life balance or is there not work-life balance? But nothing else was discussed in the GD. Is there a black hat that you could think about? So positives of a work-life balance, negatives of a work-life balance. Okay? See, we learn so much thing in the morning on the 16 hats, and yet when you went in the hot seat, you forgot about all of that. Because you're very passionate about the topic, you're thinking only on one side. And exactly this is what happens in the GD. Okay? Anybody wants to add any points on the GD topic, not on how they perform, but on the GD topic? Anybody wants to add? There's nothing but work-life balance. Anybody has managed to come out with white hat on the topic? White hat on the topic? Yes.
After the post-COVID era, there is a term called new normal. And the new normal comes up with flexible working hours, work from home, and remote working stations as well. So it's basically done to create a balance between the work and the personal life. So I think it should be mentioned in the
white hat data.
The data is like so the increase of the Google platform increases 33%,
Okay, so that's the data. Okay, good. Anybody else has any white hat thinking on this topic? See, the entire GD was only in one direction. But if you could have put on the different hats, you could have actually thought of different ways to represent or talk in the GD. Achha, yellow hat, say positives about work-life balance.
Sir, less stress.
Less stress, okay. Less stress, more family time, this, that, all lot of things are there. Okay. Green hat, creative ways for work-life balance.
So time management.
Time management, okay.
So hybrid purpose.
Hybrid work, flexible working hours, work from home, work from vacation. Bring your kids to office. Vacation, very good, vacation, work from vacation. Green hat. Right? Red hat. This was purely red hat GD, so no red hat in IPD. Black hat. Difficulties of a work-life balance. Low productivity. Anything else? Black hat. Lot of things can come in black hat. Mood swings. Okay.
Sir, bad health.
Bad health. Good. Somebody has got it a different way. Okay. Anything else? Extra pressure. Okay. Poor data collection. Right? Oh, data. Okay. Data connection. You said data collection. Okay. And blue hat. Nobody did blue hat. Nobody tried to manage the GD. Okay. So people who did not speak, ma'am, कुछ बोलो, एक लाइन तो बोलो, one line. What about the GD, about the topic? क्या हुआ? कुछ और दुनिया में है? और दुनिया में है? नहीं, छोड़ो अच्छा. Not feeling well. Okay, yes sir, sir in the nicely printed shirt, yes. What? No, you tell me something, some point about the GD. Yes. Okay, sir, last minute, बोलिए. Yellow hat, okay. Okay, okay, ठीक है. Yes sir, बोलो. ठीक है. First GD, no worries. Okay, good. Big round of applause. Okay. Marriages should be made illegal. Audience, I will come to the audience. Audience also writes down the points. Okay. Audience, easy topic. Very easy, huh?
what's the perspective on this? Like there are many dating apps who are allowing this. I even take the argument of the these are some foreign apps.
Basically, whether gay marriage is legal or not is out of the question. First, what do we mean by a marriage? What? We'll marry, we have 2 kids, and then we carry out a race forward. What? Then what? Then what is marriage? It's companionship. So if I think marriage to be a companionship, we have seen in the statistics that guys are more comfortable with guys, a girl is more comfortable with another girl sharing things. So if I consider marriage to be a good friendship, then whether it's legal or not, I really don't think so we should be get bothered about it. If we choose, if I find my comfortable zone with another guy, then it's okay. There won't be any tantrums, first point, second point. Obviously, they have their own connected. People can stay together as friends. Then government should legalize it, and it's a very personal decision.
Okay. Anybody else? Audience? Audience?
Or being a lesbian or being entry with mixed sexual orientation is all about biology. We don't decide it by ourselves. Slowly with puberty time we realize to what segment we actually belong. Those who are gays are not intentionally gay, those who are lesbians are not intentionally lesbians, those who are straight are not intentionally straight. So this is something that even if they force themselves to mentally, they cannot change no matter what. Till the last day of their life, this is never going to change. Now coming down to the legal or illegal part, if it is legal or illegal, that's a separate question. But legalizing it is very important. Suppose today I am getting married to somebody and I die, and I have no heir because I have no kids. So I want my property to be carried over by somebody that I am sharing my house with. So if the marriage is not legal, then whom do I give my properties to? So making it legal is very, very important. This is what's right.
Okay. Louder.
Sir, in the Indian Constitution, according to Article 19, there is a phrase which is often used that is freedom of expression and speech. So I think marriage is kind of more of an expression. So there is a freedom to express anyone is thinking like marriage, whom should I marry, or how my marriage function should happen, the ritualities. Because we have come across a generation where Hindus are also mixing cultures with other marriages as well. Hindu plus Muslim, Muslim plus Christian, so all things are happening. Previously it was illegal, but now it's legalized. So the same way the evolution should happen, and I think in the marriage sector as well, evolution is a continuous process. So it will evolve, from girls marrying a boy, or a boy marrying a boy marrying a boy. So this thing will change.
Okay. Anybody else? Anyone else? No other points? 6 thinking hats? Anybody has used that? Yes. Anybody else has used it to find? Ma'am, in green, follow. She was gossiping on the way through. No? Some new points on the topic? No? Okay, good. Achha, do we have time for one more, Ginny? One more? Huh? Yes, no? Yes? No? Yes, no? Okay. So let us pause here a little bit. And I want you, and when you go back home today or during the week, find out new topics and apply 6 thinking hats on those topics. Start learning how to think. Learning how to think is very important. So again, this is a summary of 6 thinking hats. Anybody wants to take a photo or a screenshot or write down, please do. Very important, whenever you're discussing, please use 6 thinking hats to get the maximum out of any particular topic. It will actually help you think better. So the time now is 1:25. We'll come back at 1:55 sharp. Okay? 1:50 we had 2 extras. Dipshika and Himandri. So this week we have Mr. Vishal Verma. Okay, he is the head of HR for Alumnus Software Private Limited. He has worked before this in Techno Electric, Environ Solar Private Limited, Jayapalaji Group, SRB, Enviro Systems Private Limited. His basic expertise is in analytics. Okay, his expertise is in analytics. He is one of the very good speakers on business analytics, sales analytics, HR analytics. So how to use data? How to use data to improve your business process, your employee, your resource outputs. Is a very good authority on any kind of analytics related to business, HR, operations. Okay, he has given speeches in a lot of different places and is very well appreciated. And is very well appreciated in this entire HR segment. So with that, I would like to welcome Vishal. Vishal, over to you.
Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So we will not subscribe to mine.
Okay, over to Vishal, and with this, I will bid goodbye to you today. We'll meet again next Saturday, right? Yes. Okay. How many? 9. Who all 9 are there? Okay. Okay. Okay.
That's done. Basic stats. Because it will be easy for me to guide through business analytics. To be very honest, business analytics is a generalized word for statistics. So when we talk about analytics, basically means that you use technology to do statistical work, statistical analysis. Because when we do statistics in the MBA classes, remember because constantly I am on different colleges, so I don't remember which college I am in. Okay, so must settle down. So you already know my name. I am Vishal Verma and I am here because I love to talk and promote analytics. So analytics no doubt is a buzzing word. So when it is a buzzing word, everyone wants to go into analytics, right? Every HR wants to go into HR analytics, marketing person wants to go into marketing analytics, financial analytics, operation analytics, supply chain analytics, and all kind of analytics that we talk about. So if I say what is business analytics, the first thing is that it's not a rocket science at all. It's very simple. You can anyone can do analytics. So when we talk about the word called analytics, there is a word called analyst. Now technology, when the word called technology comes in, it becomes analytics. So we are basically an analyst, business analyst. Right? So what does the business analyst basically do? Have you heard about anything called postmortem?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So there is a body has died because of any reason. So we are an analyst. We just open the body, pick out this all lungs, heart, and blah blah blah, all the body parts, and try to analyze what actually led to the death of that person. So whenever we talk about analytics or analyst,
We talk about what actually happened in the past. On the basis of that, what we do is to predict what is going to happen in the future. So COVID came into existence. 2 years, everyone was at their home, lockdown. Unfortunately, there was no postmortem of the dead bodies because there was a COVID protocol. You cannot do postmortem, and because of that, many things that was required for the medical analyst to predict which kind of antivirus or which kind of will work on that, the thing was not available. Fortunately, when we are talking about the business, we have all those information, right? Okay, so what is business analytics? Business analytics is basically a composition of statistics, business context, and technology. So if you are weak in any part, you cannot be a business analyst. You have to be very strong in statistics. You have to be very strong in understanding the business context. So business context, for example, I am an HR professional, so for me, HR is the business, right? For those who are into marketing, marketing is their business. For those who are into operations, supply chain management, and accordingly they are their business. So the business context or the problems or the business scenarios are important, and then comes the technology. Now when we are talking about technology, we are not talking about partner. When we are talking about technology, we are talking about computational intensity. Now what does the word called computational intensity mean? Are you getting everyone? So let it be an interactive session. I will be there with you for 2 hours as informed by Abhishek. So it's not possible to cover the entire business analytics course in 2 hours, but still I will try to give you as much information as sufficient so that you can start on your career. So when we are talking about computational intensity, can anyone define this computational intensity?
So the power of the computer.
Power of computer is different. I work in a software company. Okay, so when we are talking about power of computer, we are not talking about, when we talk about these words, it becomes to the processing speed of the computer. We are not talking about the processing speed of the computer.
So, how much coding or one process or software should use to gather information? What is the intensity of the situation?
So remember two things. One is statistics and other is the business context. Okay, when we talk about technology and we nominate it as a computational intensity, what we are talking about is how fast this statistical calculation can be done. I mean, your regression. Okay, so how you have done your measures of central tendency, correlation, regression, and t-test, f-test, z-test, standard deviation.
Hypothesis.
Hypothesis is just to prove. T-test is used, f-test is used for hypothesis test. I-square is goodness to faith. So even the data is fit or not, that is the thing we do. Not predict. First you have to analyze why actually statistics become important. Statistics become important is which particular tool to use. Whether you will be using regression, you will be using correlation, standard deviation, ANOVA, CONOVA, ANACOVA. What kind of tool are you going to use? That is the decision that you have to take in case of statistics. Now, when we are talking, you are doing your statistics course, the questions are very small, or the problem statements are very small. There are 5 or 6 data sets. The data size is very small. But when we do into business, when you go into business, the data size is very large. Okay, so if manually calculate, possible. I will come to that. Structured data and unstructured data is that different. But we have the large number of data. Large number of data. So if you do it manual calculation, it's not possible to do the manual calculation, right? That is where the computational intensity comes. You can do it on Excel, you can do it on R, you can do it on Python, you can do it on Scala, you can do it on SPSS. Tableau and Power BI is a business intelligence tool. It is basically used for data visualization, not for analysis. When statistical calculation is very difficult in Power BI and Tableau. It is possible there. I never said that it is not possible, but it is very difficult. So Power BI and your Tableau, ClickView, all these are used for data visualization. Right? So analytics is an integration between statistics, technology and business context to assist data-driven decision making. So everyone talks about data is gold, right? So data लेके करेंगे क्या? Lots of data. If we talk about a retail company, so sales का data. Okay, let's take any example like Anmol biscuit. पूरे इंडिया में सेल हो रहे हैं, राइट? तो कितना सारा डेटा है, लेकिन उस डेटा को लेके करेंगे क्या? Data is there, sales data. If you talk about only the sales data, I'm not talking about supply chain management, operation, HR and everything side. Only sales data. The sales data is used sold all across India. So कितने rural सेल हुआ, कितना urban सेल हुआ, rural में भी villages में कितने सेल हुए, blocks में कितने सेल हुए, all those kinds of data. लेकिन इस data का लेके करेंगे क्या? तो क्या हो रहा है? What we are trying to make that the word here is data-driven decision making. Now, what is the decision that I am planning to take? I am planning to put, sales manager, integrated sales manager here. That sales manager will be taking the responsibility of a rural sale of a particular block. Because why? Because the data says that the sale of this particular area is coming down. Now that data is now used for decision making. Got it? So after analyzing all those data, but it is always not possible when we have large number of data. So you have to break it into number of pieces and then do statistical analysis and then come up with a design that this particular will be on high level, this will be on the low level. What is important here is that a person I am the honor of head of the marketing department of Anmol Biscuit, right? So when I am the head of the marketing department of the Anmol Biscuit, what is happening that I am seeing that a sale in Bardhaman East is of that particular block is going down. But I suddenly come up with a sale. Now I will appoint to our secretary. So I will do as a sales manager to that location. But now our Shreya. Now Shreya comes up with the data that says that the people in that particular block do not like the taste of the Anmol biscuit. So this data that was ignored by me as a marketing person because I see the data only on the view of the sales of the data. The sale is going down. But I ignored the data given by Shreya. Now I am a person who is the marketing analyst. Right? So if I am a marketing analyst, I will gather the sales data, I will gather the different demographic data, I will gather the data from the supply chain management, I will gather the data regarding the old sale of that particular area. Why these people are not liking Anmol biscuit? There must be something different. Or either Britannia is pushing the product in a different manner. They understand the psychology of the person. So, according, let's be interactive. Okay, so your name? Ashwarya. So, Ashwarya is working on the psychological analysis of the population of East Bardhaman. She comes up with the data that psychologically what happened 2 years back, that there was the product that was given by Anmol in that district was so bad, because of that people have left eating Anmol biscuit. So earlier what happened is that I thought that because sales is going down, I put Subhankar there. Now what Subhankar is going to do? Subhankar will not be able to understand what is the basic reason behind that. Okay. So let's go back to our postmortem example. So postmortem जब body मर गया, body कैसे मर गया? एक्सीडेंट हो गया. लेकिन एक्सीडेंट क्या अल्कोहल कंजम्पशन से हुआ? क्या उसका ब्रेन में उस टाइम में कुछ प्रॉब्लम था? उसकी आंखों में प्रॉब्लम था? गाड़ी में प्रॉब्लम था? कहाँ प्रॉब्लम? So that is how we business analytics look at the problem. We look at the problem from different angles, get all those data, composite that data, and then come up with a decision. Right? So it uses that advanced statistical and machine learning algorithm to drive insight from the data. So now the data size has increased from the sales data, increasing from your what data you are getting? Taste. Okay. She has given psychological data, and he has given supply chain management data. All those data are now coming in. Is it possible for a person who knows statistics to hear? सबने statistics पढ़ा है, right? First year में. ठीक है, possible है?
Sir, is data mining is also a part of business analytics, only decision making?
Wait, I will come to that. अभी तो शुरू हुआ है. अभी पार्टी शुरू हुई है. अभी पार्टी लंबी चलेगी. Okay. So now you are understanding the size of the data increasing every time we include another variable. Now I am introducing the term called variable. We analysts never talk any particular thing as this occurrence. We thought it as variable. For us, it is just a variable, right? Okay. So for marketing data are variables, demographic data are variable, golden data related to psychological inspections are variable. All those variables come into existence, and on the basis of variable, we have to predict which variable is more important to be captured on. Okay. On the basis of data, we came from the quote that actually says that so boring class. So that data becomes more important. Okay, so we have to address that data. Got it? Okay, so we derive insights from the raw data. Okay, the definition is clear. So there are points: data-driven decision making and derive insights from the raw data. सारा data raw है. We need to process those data. Now can anyone get a class modular format? Business analytics, we call it we are farming the raw data to forecast, to data mining, to decision making, to improving the strategy. Answer to your question? Okay. So when we are talking about data mining, okay, we will completely go through all these things, right? Now what business analytics is not? We need to differentiate between everything is not business analytics, right? In the Philip Cotton right business analytics rather than on marketing. Have you read Philip Cotton? Anyone read Kotler? Anyone read Kotler? Other Macaut, right?
So the 4P, right? Kotler.
4P का जमाना चला गया. 7P भी अब कम हो गया.
4Cs.
4Cs. What are the 4Cs?
Cost communication and
So you are talking about the terms of economics. You are not talking about the terms of marketing. Okay. How many of you are aware of basket? The concept of basket, product mix and product basket. तभी मैंने पूछा, everyone is Macau. Know the reason why people ask everyone that the students are not Macau or not? There is a thing called organizer. Bar organizers study books. Today also we study books after working in 15-17 years in the industry. Still we go back to books. हम लोग के टाइम में तो organizer था नहीं. Break the problem. Operation management पढ़ाया है? हो गया क्लास operation management तो चल रहा है.
So where is the second sem? Because for the production of each and every management, so we are not able to because we start from the third sem.
Which one? Operation management.
Specialization will be part of the
Specialization is different and the business context. You are more specialized to business context. Statistics तो first year में पढ़ाया जाता है, लेकिन हमारा तो business context will change ना. You will go into HR, marketing, finance, operation and so on. So business context is going to change. What is not going to change is the statistics and the technology part. एक साल है तुम्हारे पास वो business context को समझने के लिए. अभी तो statistics को strong करो. If you are not working hard on the statistics, you will not get good into analytics. Okay, so let me tell you some of the stories that are there in analytics success factor of the analytics. Of course, active thermal is one, active thermal or active temperature is one of the examples. Okay, but let me give you a real time example. Okay, have you heard about the digital meter, electric meter? Now what is happening with that digital electric meter? Can you imagine what are the data that we are getting from those areas? Consumption. Okay. Now we are getting the data related to consumption. Now if I select this particular area, sector 3, right? So we select this sector 3 as an area and we get the data of the electric meter. So there are many kinds of households there. There are small houses, big houses, millionaires, multi-millionaires, all are there. Institutes are there. Then there are offices and everything. So we segregate those data into commercial and non-commercial. Data coming from the same, the area. At the same time, it is coming through the same information channel. Data क्या मिलता है? बिजली का बिल कितना आ रहा है? उसके हिसाब से बिजली का मीटर जैसा चल रहा है, बिजली का बिल वैसा पेमेंट होगा. ये जनरल कॉन्सेप्ट. वो क्या होता है? छोटे-छोटे इंस्टीट्यूट के जो MBA होते हैं ना, वो करेंगे. हम लोग क्या करेंगे? उस डेटा को डाउनलोड किया, सारा डेटा डाउनलोड किया, उसको ब्रेक किया. इस सेक्टर 3 के इस ब्लॉक के अंदर क्या कंजम्पशन, ईच एंड एवरी फ्लैट के कंजम्पशन को हम लोगों ने डिराइव किया. कंजम्पशन जब ज़्यादा हो रहा है तो हमको हमारे पास क्या इंफॉर्मेशन है पहले से कि अगर ट्यूबलाइट चल रहा है या फैन चल रहा है तो इतना यूनिट कंजम्पशन होना चाहिए. If the consumption is high, that means that particular flat owner is using an air conditioner. Now air conditioner is the 5-star rated AC or a 3-star rated AC. Because of that, the consumption will be low. Government is interested in that data. Why government is interested in that data? Why government is interested in that data? Because when they will got hold of that person who is doing a commercial activity, that will earlier it was shown as the just a residential complex. Now commercial activities are going on. The commercial activity, CESC, that department who is taking care of the electricity asset, এটা চলবে না, আপনার মিটারটা চেঞ্জ করুন। Get back to commercial meter. You will not be allowed to use the residential meter. At the same time, what is happening? Income tax department of this, you saw that you are owning this flat and you are living there, but you are doing some activity that you have not reported. So pay income tax on it. This software establishment person, they are saying that you are doing this some activity that is commercial activity that you have not registered in the software establishment. Return is just for calculating how much the bill will come. Now this data are used by multiple people. So we are just taking the example of this sector 3. How many households will be there in sector 3? 500? Sector 3 is approximately 1 lakh household will be there. Sector 3 छोटो ना, अनेक बड़ो। When you see the flats that are there, it is complex का, it is going lakhs and lakhs. No, building का तो lakhs going. Sector 3 is a big area. Okay. Now Salt Lake, now entire Vilannagar, now entire Kolkata, not 24 Parganas, Kolkata, Vilannagar, South 24 Parganas, now expanding into Lower Bengal, now expanding into Bengal, now expanding into India, Eastern India, worldwide. How much data we have? We do not deal with the samples in business. No, I'm just trying to make you understand what is the samples, what is the data site that you are dealing with. That data site is to be anchor or else to capture, so pretty much you can analyze. But such a large volume of the data. And that you have to calculate and that disintegrate everything. So TV sales, everything. The moment हम लोग कैसे एनालाइज करते हैं एसी का सेल, एसी का या फ्रिज का सेल रिज्यूम करते हैं ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ टेम्परेचर. Now you are getting a different vision for understanding where will be the sale, exactly where I have to target. Now when I talk about flip quarter, one of that of these when we talk is the place. Got it? Place. Now click on that place. हर जगह एसी नहीं बिकेगा. जहाँ पर इलेक्ट्रिसिटी का कंजम्पशन ये जो जहाँ पर बहुत सारे बुढ़ी लोग हैं वहाँ इस स्पेस का कोई फायदा नहीं. ठीक है, वहाँ कितना भी बिल बोर्ड लगा दो, कुछ भी लगा दो, they are not interested. But those people who are, I ask you for 2 hours to sit without AC, you will not able to sit because we are made comfortable with it. So what are the views of this? Now that 70% आ गया तो मैं बोला FMCG में घुसूं. तो सर आप तो मेरे को बचा दिए, मेरा नुकसान होने से बचा दिए. तो मेरे को हर साल कितने सालों से नुकसान होता है. Now when we work on FMCG product, I ask them कि जो केमिस्ट शॉप में जा रहा है, ठीक है, वो लैक्मे का पाउडर और सेट तो खरीदने नहीं जाता. Although that is a FMCG product, all your nail polish and everything are again coming under the bracket of FMCG product overall basket. Now what is happening is that I ask them to take sugar-free, chamankaras, some Ayurvedic products that will cross-sell. वहाँ पर क्या होगा? फिर फिलिप कॉटलर, मार्केटिंग मिक्स, प्रोडक्ट मिक्स, इस तरह से उसको डिजाइन करना. So now that particular chemist shop had reduced 70% loss. At the same time, they also have the FMCG product that is related to them, and now they are going into more ventures. So you can solve using your business understanding, data, and technology. So when we talk about the stages of business analytics, there is first of all what happened. That is what we say as descriptive analytics. Second is your diagnostic analytics, predictive analytics, and finally leading to prescriptive analytics. So what happened is that I was having a fever. I went to a doctor and described my issues, symptoms, variables. All those are variables. So I said my temperature is going down, that my throat infection a little bit. I do not have any throat infection. I have a little bit pain in my stomach, and so on. And on the basis of all those data, I described the entire variables to that person. Now what the doctor did is doctor sent me to a diagnostic center. When I was sent to a diagnostic center, I was asked to do all those numbers tests. मैं बोला यार fever हो रखा है. Why this doctor is asking me to get for this test and get the urine culture and everything? Fever है ना मेरे को. एक paracetamol तो खत्म काम. But the doctor was there for the business analyst. उसने बोला ना, I am not going to listen to you. Although he was having an understanding with the diagnostic center. So he was having a diagnostic setting with that, but we are not going into that. So we are, very ethical person. Although none of us are, but still we are very ethical person. We believe in ethics. बिजनेस एथिक्स का चैप्टर होगा, एक सब्जेक्ट होगा जिसको हम लोग को पढ़ना पड़ता है और उसको भी अनएथिकल वे में उसको पास करते हैं. So we study business ethics and try to find out that unethical way to pass the ethics chapter. So that's it. So what is happening here is that we are report came out. I took that report again to the doctor, then 500 rupees fees there. So what is happening? He saw the report and said, Vishal, you do not have any problem related to temperature. You are having a problem with your bowel infection because there is a bacterial infection inside your stomach, and because of that you are getting a fever. We diagnosed the problem. Till the time you are diagnosing the problem, you are not able to design any predictive model. Now, on basis of this understanding of medical terminology and everything, we said that this particular antibacterial, antibiotic related to that antibacteria, you will give me that medicine, and I took that medicine. So he write a prescription. We predicted that it is basically because of this bacteria, and because of his business medical understanding, he knew that this particular bacteria can be killed by this antibiotic. So he wrote a prescription to me and said, Vishal, take this antibiotic and you will be over with the fever. Problem था fever. निकला क्या पेट के अंदर बैक्टीरिया. Now let's convert that into business. So we have a problem, describe the problem. So what happened is that I was running with fever. Then why did it happen? It came out because of the diagnosis of the entire problem came. Now on the basis of understanding, medical understanding, design what will happen if I do give this particular antibiotic. So being are a business person. So for us, when we are designing, it is work through a model related to our whole description. Every time we will keep on talking about those things. So business में problem ना आया, and those statement because we were talking about a problem related to sales. If I diagnose that the problem was not related to sales, the problem was related to psychological understanding of the local population there. Okay. So I worked on the psychological. We start giving free samples. Okay. Make them understand. गलती हो गया भाई, वो जो पुराना वाला जो सेल्स मैनेजर था ना, उसने सारा गलती किया है. अब आप लोगों को गलत मान लिया. मैं अच्छा आदमी हूँ. आप लोग फ्री सैंपल टेस्ट करो, ठीक, and create that testing. Okay. So what I did on the basis of that, I predict that if I give them free samples and ask them to check and test, it will work. And after that, I prescribe my marketing team and my supply chain management and my manufacturing. They work on this area. It is not going to work. On this, we will leave that. So we will clear the structure and semi-structure data. All data is coming from different sources. कहीं से भी कुछ raw data, कहीं से कोई information आ रहा है. Some can be logical forms, some can be totally question answer form जो survey कर रहे हैं वहाँ से आ रहा है. So question answer का survey जब हम लोग लिखने के लिए बोलते हैं, it's totally an unstructured data. Now we will figure out that workable see and transform the data to workable format. So now when we are transforming that data into workable format, we are converting the unstructured and semi-structured data already converted. So unstructured data and semi-structured data, we are converting basically what the process is called as transformation. So we transform all those into structured format that is required for us, right? And after that, we do all the analysis and go for data visualization. So after analysis, we will go to तो पता ही नहीं है कि मुझे करना है. Data visualization ये तो analysis है. Descriptive statistics, when we talk about descriptive analytics, that is what we call as the data visualization. So basically, what we call the entire process, initial part is ETL. When you are giving an interview with business analyst, okay, they will ask what is ETL. So we extract all those data from different sources, transform those data into a workable format and load into a central database. Extract, transform and load in a data warehouse. क्योंकि हम लोग क्या होता है, हम लोग तो डिफरेंट जो सर्वे कर रहे हैं उसका डेटा डिफरेंट है. That is called unstructured data. So we extract data from all the sources. पहले सोचना नहीं है कि डेटा का लेके करेंगे. पहले तो करेक्ट करो सारा इंफॉर्मेशन, extract the data from all. That data can be from supply chain management, operation, HR, finance, marketing, account, blah blah blah. All department collect the information, extract the information, and transform that information into workable form. Unstructured data को structured बनाना है, सारा transformation करना है, and then load into central database. You know the highest paid analysts are the person who are expert in ETL. Who are expert in ETL, extract, transform and load. होता है कि हम लोग हमेशा predictive modeling में चले जाते हैं. लोड हो गया डेटा, उसके बाद तो एक रिग्रेशन इक्वेशन ही तो बनाना है. प्रेडिक्टिव मॉडल है क्या? रिग्रेशन इक्वेशन. एक रिग्रेशन इक्वेशन तो बनाना हो तो कोई भी बना. ये काम सब कोई नहीं कर पाता. That is why the people who are involved in ETL are the most prized person. उनके लिए कंपनी कितना भी पैसा खर्च कर सकती है. Because this is the most difficult work. So extract, transform and load. And luckily, you do not need always the engineers. Even the persons who are coming from English literature background, they can do the ETL work. You know, they have heard about the machine learning, deep learning, natural language processing. Natural language processing about one more NLP, that is neural linguistic programming. Now we are talking about natural language processing. Any idea about natural language processing? What is natural language processing? We process the natural language, English, Hindi, Bengali, we process that natural language, convert that into data, process that into a data. So you define a cat, so that cats have got different variables. Now each of the variable is broken down and that integrated to make a design, that is what we call as the business cat. Consumption. The cat is black in color. It has got 4 legs. ये तो समझ में आएगा. English वाले ज़्यादा better समझते हैं. So those people who are coming from arts background or from this background do not make a presumption that you cannot work in business. That is what I am trying to say. Okay. We have hired people from English background and they are doing wonders in India. Now, when we are talking about what HR analytics is all about, it's basically all about data visualization. So visualization में हुआ क्या? मैंने तुम लोगों को एक कहानी सुनाई. एक कहानी इसकी एक केमिस्ट शॉप की. तो ये अगर तो visualize कि वो केमिस्ट शॉप दिखता कैसा था? एक दिमाग में एक पिक्चर प्रेजेंट हो. तुम्हारा लोकल शॉप पे आ रहा होगा. जब मैंने बोला कि उनका वेस्टेज हो रहा है प्रोडक्ट का, तो लग रहा होगा उनका कोई आगे निकाल के फेंक रहा है. Okay, that is what we call as the visualization. Can we visualize using the data? So when we talk about visualization, हम लोग ने किया क्या है? जब भी हम लोग ने एक्सेल पे प्रोजेक्ट्स बनाया है, प्रोजेक्ट्स में जो अच्छा लगता था ना, जैसे ये मैंने पाई चार्ट का बाजूला एक ब्लॉक बार डायग्राम का देखो ना, you can a diagram to line diagram का दी, right? That we have been doing our projects on, like, okay, but that is not how it should be. There is some rules and regulations why we follow a particular kind of approach. We need to first understand that what you like to show with the data. Are you trying to show the comparison between two data? If you are trying to comparison between data and whether that data are in between two items, if it is in between two items, whether of two variables only, 2 to 3 variables, multiple variables inside one variable. Amul biscuit, Lunta biscuit. When you see this kind of charts, particularly good. If it is 4 districts, then how we do that? Understand that when there are multiple categories, we have to make blocks of them, and at the same time we have to compare those data. सिर्फ ब्लॉक्स पे बनाने का तो मैं एक डिस्ट्रिक्ट का बना सकता हूँ, दूसरी डिस्ट्रिक्ट का 5 स्लाइड मेरा बन गया. ठीक है, तो क्लास स्लाइड का तुम्हारा मूव किया 4th स्लाइड में. ठीक है, फर्स्ट स्लाइड में क्या था ये याद है? नहीं. So it will become a measure. So we convert that into a chart and put all the blocks in comparison with each other, having the same level of hierarchy, so that we can show that this particular district comparison with this is giving me better result. Okay, so when we are comparing this over time, these are comparing with only variables, but when we are comparing it over time, time series, when we are working with the time series, basically first thing that comes into the mind should come into the mind, that is going to be a lifetime. Okay. So and when there are multiple things, you show multiple lines. The multiple line का alignment ऐसा होना चाहिए that you can differentiate between two. Color is very important. Okay. Now when I am talking about color, there are people who are color blind. you never know कि हम लोग में से यहाँ जितने लोग बैठे हैं उसमें कोई हो सकता है कलर ब्लाइंड हो, उसको भी पता नहीं रहता है कि मैं कलर ब्लाइंड हूँ, unless and until there is a dedicated test that says whether the person is a color blind or not. But in that case, if we are using the red color and I am color blind to red, I will not able to visualize. So there are specific colors that is open for all kind of people, whether they are color blind or not. Go on Google, you will find that color. Okay. Now, if I want to show the case of the relationship between one variable, three variables or two variables, we go for scattered plot when it is two variables. But when it is three variables, we go for the bubble chart. Okay. If you want to showcase the distribution, we can show using the scattered plot or the histogram. So from three variables, we take bubble. Go for bubble chart. अब यहाँ पर two variables भी thought about going for scattered plot, three variable bubble chart, one variable होगा तो क्या करें? Five variable होगा तो क्या करें? Variable के अंदर variable होगा तो क्या करें? So is there any field here? So we have got, so Anmol is there, Anmol biscuit. So we have got salt biscuit and sweet biscuit. Just concentrate on the biscuit one. Now in the salt there are, maybe Goldie biscuit, small, we can say snacks biscuit. We can have another say jeera biscuit, small chota biscuit. Okay, we say it's a small biscuit. Now we can also here that is a mix of salt and sweet. That is the mix biscuit. So what is happening here is we have got company Anmol says we have got three variables. बबल चार्ट लगे नहीं, क्योंकि बबल चार्ट में थर्ड वेरिएबल जो होता है उसके साइज को बताता है. ठीक है. So if I use the third variable, it will say in comparison to salt and sweet, which is more saleable. Which is more saleable or which has got the maximum sale. लेकिन इसके अंदर भी तो बहुत सारा कुछ है. So what we do is to convert that bubble chart रहेगा, bubble chart को जो bubble का size है, that was initially giving us how much sale, say for example it is 60, 20, 40, so इसके size के हिसाब से उसका area, bubble का area, ठीक है. इस particular chart को हम लोगों ने further converted that into a pie chart. Are you visualizing कि पहले जो हमारा स्कैटर प्लॉट था उसमें बबल साइज आ गया, दिस इज फॉर सॉल्ट, दिस इज फॉर स्वीट, दिस इज फॉर मिक्स. इसका कॉम्पोजिशन ये है, इसका कॉम्पोजिशन ये है और ये तो इंडिविजुअली. So that is how we visualize the data. We need a visualization वाले को एग्जाम्पल. ये बबल चार्ट बनाने के लिए, स्कैटर्ड प्लॉट बनाने के लिए पैसा नहीं है, तो कोई दिक्कत. ये सोच सकते हो कि नहीं सोच सकते हो, ये पैसा कितना मिलेगा उसका डिसाइड. ओके. नाउ व्हेन वी गो फॉर द कंपोजिशन, वी कैन गो फॉर द पाई चार्ट. पाई चार्ट आजकल जनरली हम लोग यूज नहीं करते, वी यूज द डोनट चार्ट. पाई चार्ट का कैलकुलेशन कैसे करते हैं, आइडिया? उसको हम लोग कहते हैं क्लस्टरिंग। 80 यूनिट्स के बाद मैंने 20 यूनिट्स और मैन्युफैक्चर किया आफ्टर सम टाइम विद टाइम what is happening is this 20 units will come here. Out of that 100 units I have sold 70 units. So यहाँ से ऊपर से नीचे आएगा and will go down to 70. How much left? 30. Next जो start होगा वो यहाँ से start होगा. If I am building that or I am going up. शेयर मार्केट में भी सेम कॉन्सेप्ट आ रहा है. इसके प्राइस में अप हो रहा है या डाउन हो रहा है. So you will see the particular chart always there on the share market. Box and the whisker plot. Box and the whisker plot is used a number of times. There is a concept called outliers. जो मेरा पहले क्लास की होंगे I will always talk about outliers. Outliers, if I talk about HR data, it can be the salary of the peon and the CEO. इसकी सैलरी बहुत कम या बहुत ज़्यादा होती है. अगर वो डेटा में रहेंगे तो क्या होगा? मेरा जो मीन है वो डेविएट कर जाएगा, राइट? अगर मीन डेविएट कर जाएगा because you will take all those into composition. So cleaning of the data. Remember we talked about data cleaning. We have to count out those outliers and remove those outliers. ठीक है, डेटा को क्लीन करो, वो रहेंगे तो हमारा सारा काम खराब कर देंगे. ठीक है, I cannot do any kind of salary benchmark if I am not able to do this. So if you look at the box and the whisker plot, what does it signify?
This outliers cannot be done in Excel.
Can we use Excel? Yes. Okay, box and the whisker plot can be done on Excel.
The box plot can be done in Excel.
Sir, first of all, you use pivot table, and then you have created a dashboard, right? The previous task that you have told us about. Sir, you have taken that data in a pivot table.
No. Why should I go for the pivot table?
Sir, if the data is like big, quite big, so you wanted to arrange the dashboard, sir.
No, it can be arranged. I have to differentiate ना. अभी क्या हो रहा है कि अगर डेटा का सेल जो होता है, say 500 यूनिट सेल हो, ठीक है? 500 in comparison to 5000 सेल, ठीक है? तो अगर मैं 500 को 1 लेता हूँ, तो वहाँ पे मेरा 10 आ गया, ठीक है? वो हिसाब से काम करता है. It will take a bench size, ठीक है? 500 को दिखाएगा छोटा सा बॉक्स में, ठीक है? उसके कंपैरिजन में बड़ा बॉक्स दिखाएगा for 5000. डेटा will be there. वहाँ पर जब कवर अराउंड में कॉल इट एज कवरिंग अराउंड, डेटा के जब हम लोग मूव करते हैं तो कॉल इट कवरिंग अराउंड. जब कवर अराउंड करेंगे तो हम लोग को डेटा दिखाई लगती है, यहाँ पे इतना डेटा. Okay, so talking about the box and the whisker plot. So when we are talking about the box and the whisker plot, it says have you heard about the right skewed, left skewed, bell curve?
Sir, right tail and left tail.
This person,
Sir, right tail and left tail.
right tail and left tail is in hypothesis testing and t-test. Okay. I am just talking about normal bell curve.
Yes, sir.
Normal bell curve अगर right skewed है या left skewed है data, that is called skewness. तो skewed कब होता है? Have you worked on the variation? Exactly, that is the variation I am talking about. Just इसको घुमा दो, turn it 90 degree. Okay, sorry, I will turn it 90 degree. Okay, you see this kind of data? Okay, now this is your first quartile, second quartile, third quartile, interquartile deviation. This is your median. Median से हमारा quartiles निकल गए. अब ये quartiles का जो length होगा, that is कॉल्ड एज IQR, इंटर क्वार्टाइल रेंज अगर हम लोग निकालेंगे, अगर ये दोनों में डिफरेंस है, इट विल बी राइट स्क्यूड और लेफ्ट स्क्यूड. नाउ सी दिस डेटा. मीडियन यहाँ पर आ रहा है, ठीक है, ये बड़ा है, ये छोटा है, ठीक है. तो डेटा इज मोर टुवर्ड्स द राइट, so it is a right skewed data. एक सिंपल बॉक्स एंड इसका प्लॉट से कितना इंफॉर्मेशन आउटलायर्स रिफ्लेक्ट कर जाएगा यहाँ पर, इसके बाहर आ जाएगा, ठीक है. Why it is there? Because quartile वेरिएशन में क्वार्टाइल पे काम करते हैं, IQR पे काम करते हैं. तो IQR does not consider your deviation related to outliers. So what is outliers actually? Outliers में deviation mean change हो जाएगा ना. स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन जब हम लोग निकालते हैं, राइट, स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन जब भी हम लोग निकालते हैं तो मीन को तो कंसीडर करते हैं, मीडियन को तो कंसीडर नहीं करते. जब हम मीडियन पढ़ते हैं ना तो वहाँ पे लिखा है मीडियन इज द बेस्ट थिंग टू विजुअलाइज, मीन इज नॉट अ गुड थिंग. लेकिन मीन अच्छा नहीं है तो स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन निकालने के लिए मीन, पाई स्क्वायर टेस्ट निकालने के लिए मीन, सब जगह मीन 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 मीन, सारा कैलकुलेशन मीन. अगर मीन खराब है इतना, ठीक है, तो हमारा सारा फंक्शन तो होना ही नहीं चाहिए. अब क्या किया, अगर हम लोगों ने आउटलायर्स को हटा दिया, ठीक है, तो मेरा क्या हुआ, मीडियन एंड मीन विल बी द सेम पॉइंट, ऑलमोस्ट सेम पॉइंट, तो मेरा सारा कैलकुलेशन सही होगा. दैट इज व्हाई योर आउटलायर्स नीड टू बी रिमूव्ड फ्रॉम द डेटा. Okay, so there are different visualization tools. We talked about tabular, Power BI, and click view are there. There are different visualization tools. Not going to detail. So we talked about that analytics, business analytics is all about data visualization. Now again, analytics is all about data itself. So when we are talking about data, that can be unstructured data or structured data. So you need to understand the data, the definition of the data. It can be a categorical data, it can be a numerical data, it can be nominal, ordinal, continuous, what kind of data it is. मैं अगर रिग्रेशन एनालिसिस कर रहा हूँ और मेरा एक कैटेगोरिकल डेटा है और मेल एंड फीमेल, उसका रिग्रेशन इक्वेशन पे क्या डिवास्टेटिंग इफेक्ट पड़ेगा. तो देखते हैं कि 1 और 2 हम लोग क्या करते हैं, इधर मेल को 1 दे दिया या फीमेल को 2 दे दिया. When we talk about regression as a subject, it should be a continuous data. इंक्रीज होना चाहिए, ठीक है. मेल से फीमेल इंक्रीज होता है या फीमेल से मेल इंक्रीज होता है ना, नहीं होता. दोनों अलग अलग फॉर्म ऑफ डेटा. तो उस डेटा को अगर हम लोग ने बोला ना कौन सा डेटा हम लोग को लेना, ये हमारे अंडरस्टैंडिंग होनी चाहिए क्लियर. दैट इज व्हाई द अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ द डेटा इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. So we cannot take those categorical data related to male and female and put it into a linear regression. Independent variable is different. और तो वो डेटा वहाँ पर होगा नहीं क्योंकि linear regression में continuous होता है. All the data are continuous. ठीक है. Education, qualification is a continuous data. You cannot do your MBA without doing your BBA or BCA or BCom or BSc or BA. Okay, it's a continuous data. You cannot be a divorced unless and until you are married. And you cannot be a married unless and until you are a single. That's a continuous data. But male and female cannot be a continuous data. So never use such kind of data in regression. Okay, so data can be a quantitative, qualitative data, or a mixed method on the basis of the collection of the data. Okay, so quantitative data, you ask the person to give options. Survey दिया, survey में option दे रहे, A, B, C, D में से टिक लगा. So सिगरेट की दुकान पे गोल फ्लेट का बंदा खड़ा रहेगा, सर फ्री, कैसे फ्री मिलता है सबको. सर हाउ डू यू फील सर, टेस्ट रेट इट ऑन 1 to 5. अपीयरेंस कैसा सर, जो नया लोगो चेंज किया वो अच्छा लग रहा है, सर 1 to 5 रेटिंग सर. Those are the quantitative data. Now qualitative data, sir, how do you feel that data, the taste? That quantitative data is the qualitative data. Now we convert the qualitative data into quantitative data. Now there are mixed method of doing that. मैं किसी को ऑप्शन दे रहा हूँ और ऑप्शन को वैलिडेट करने के लिए बोल रहा हूँ. If you are rating 5, ठीक है, Uber का क्या होता है? रैंकिंग बुक Uber रेटिंग में हमेशा 5 देता है. 5 अगर आपको आ रहा है, रेटिंग आप दे रहे हो तो कुछ नहीं क्वेश्चन पूछेगा. जैसे ही आप 4 दोगे तो पूछेगा कि क्या हुआ, ड्राइवर ने क्या कर ऑप्शन ए बी सी डी. उस ऑप्शन में फर्दर में जैसे ही दिया कि ड्राइवर वाज नॉट ड्राइविंग प्रॉपर्ली, देन मेबी यू कैन आस्क क्या हो गया. दैट्स अ मिक्स्ड मेथड काइंड ऑफ डेटा ऑफ and again it's all about statistics. So when we talk about statistics, the first thing that comes into the mind is the measures of central tendency. जो हम लोगों ने मीन मोड मीडियन पढ़ा था, that comes under the measures of central tendency. Central tendency का मेजर मतलब क्या होगा? Anyone can explain? I use the word for central tendency. Central tendency का क्या? So it's average. Mean is average. Why is the word called central tendency?
Because it lies in the middle. Most of the weight lies in the middle.
Lies in the middle? No. Mean lies in the middle. That is different. Why it is tendency? The word is called tendency. Focus on the word. Things like an analyst. Postmortem करना है ना?
Sir, it has a behavior to revolve around centers.
The data tends to go towards the center. That is what he has said. सारे टेंड करते हैं सेंटर के लोकेशन पे आने के लिए. इसीलिए ये बीच का जो रहता है वो ऊपर होता है. When we talk about the bell curve. When we are talking about central tendency, you calculate the skewness. Right data है, right skewed है, left skewed है. But what we do is to normalize that curve. Data cleaning. Okay. Structure. हाँ, लेकिन employee satisfied है तो सेल ऊपर जा रहा है. ठीक है, लेकिन सेल ऊपर जा रहा है तो फिर देर की वो employee satisfied होगा 100% श्योर नहीं हो सकता. ठीक, लेकिन मेरा BSN को रिलेशन का जो वैल्यू है वो 0.5 आ रहा है. राइट, अगर मेरा BSN को आ रहा है तो ये बोल रहे हैं कि यार वो पॉजिटिवली कोरिलेट. Maybe correlation value जो आया वो 0.8 आया, 0.9 आया, highly correlated. But what is actually happening? Is that correlation actually existing? हम लोग correlation को इसीलिए हम लोग correlation को business analysis में use करते हैं data cleaning के लिए. That's it. हम लोग उस पर कोई information, उस पर decision नहीं लेते हैं, क्योंकि वो क्या है तो business में सिनेरियो देखो कोई मतलब नहीं बनता. एक साइड से दिख रहा है कोरिलेशन, और जब उसको उल्टा कर दिया तो कोरिलेशन नहीं दिख रहा. ठीक है, डेटा पॉइंट बोल रहा है कि कोरिलेशन है. ठीक है, लेकिन एक्चुअली वो कोरिलेशन नहीं भी हो सकता. ठीक, इसलिए हम लोग कभी भी कोरिलेशन के बेसिस पे डिसीजन नहीं लेते. ऑलवेज रिमेंबर, यू विल नेवर टेक द डिसीजन ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ कोरिलेशन. कोरिलेशन डेटा क्लीनिंग के लिए बहुत ज्यादा डेविएशन आया 0.5 से बहुत ज्यादा प्लस माइनस में डेविएशन आया, 0.1 आया, 0.2 आया, हटाओ यार ये वेरिएबल निकाल. 0.5 पे हो सकता है, चलो आगे चलेंगे. क्योंकि डिसीजन नहीं ली, हम लोग आगे चलेंगे. So when we talk about regression, अभी जो तुम लोगों ने regression पढ़ा है ना, that is linear regression. One variable regression में किया क्या? बेसिकली तुमने y is equal to a plus 3x काम करता. ठीक है, इतना ये डेटा है, ये डेटा है, मॉडल बना दिया, रिग्रेशन का निकाल लिया, मीन डेटा निकाल के मैन्युअली कैलकुलेट करना पड़ता है. तो अगर मैं ये वेरिएबल का इम्पैक्ट इस रिग्रेशन में क्या है कभी देखा एसपीएसएस में करके देख लो जो तुम्हारा प्रैक्टिकल में बता दो इस रिग्रेशन इस पर्टिकुलर वेरिएबल x2 वेरिएबल का इम्पैक्ट पूरे उस पे क्या पड़ रहा है उसका रहना या ना रहना इम्पैक्ट कर रहा है नहीं कर रहा है वो कोई नहीं देख रहा है ठीक है जनरली हम लोग क्या करते हैं की वैल्यू चेक करो ठीक है 0.05 से नीचे है अच्छा लेकिन ये पर्टिकुलर x2 इस पूरे इक्वेशन को खराब कर रहा है ठीक है इसका इम्पैक्ट है या नहीं है ये भी तो फाइंड आउट करना जरूरी है डेटा क्लीनिंग पीपीएल वैसे so when we talk about regression we actually do linear regression now regression does not end there it starts from here okay so generally हम लोग क्या करते हैं we have got linear regression then we work on the logistic regression मैं बात तो बोला था probability so in HR we use the word called attrition एक employee रह भी सकता है जा भी सकता है so attrition can be either yes or no or what a stupid example you know fetal testing in India or anywhere in the world is illegal fetal testing whether male है या female है लेकिन डॉक्टर्स को पता है तो इलीगल है उसके बाद भी होता है इंडिया में भी कई लोग करते हैं डॉक्टर से ही पूछते हैं डॉक्टर साहब आपको तो पता चल गया होगा बता दो ये बेटा हो रहा है या बेटी हो रही है तो जो भी ऐसा चल रहा है so what is happening there are number of variables to decide whether it is a male or a female attrition can be yes or no right so when it is yes or no either of the two things can happen so now taking that example fetal one okay there is something called transgender तो वो क्या हुआ इन दोनों के बीच में कहीं आया okay so probability of happening either male or female उसके बीच में कहीं एक probability आ रही है जो दे रहा है उसके लिए कैसे प्रेडिक्ट करेंगे कंटीन्यूअस डेटा तो है नहीं तो when we are talking about continuous data so attrition यहाँ से मैं बाहर निकला ठीक है या कोई हम लोग में से कोई बाहर निकला they will meet an accident or not meet an accident किसी ने बर्गर खाया नहीं खाया ठीक है लेकिन कितनी probability है कि ये बाहर निकलेगा तो बर्गर खाएगा coming to his example rain होगा कि नहीं होगा तो क्या हो रहा है when we say on the basis of the past data we say 80% अगर ये towards तुम्हारा rain का है तो मैं बोलूंगा कि ये यहाँ पे बरसात होगा ठीक है 80% से नीचे है तो पुराना डेटा ये कह रहा है कि 80% से अगर नीचे है तो बरसात नहीं होगा on the basis of that we are predicting whether it will be raining or not raining okay so raining and not raining is occurrence of the chances now this occurrence of the chances can be on multiple variables temperature कितना है humidity कितनी है ठीक है nearby seashore कितना है यहाँ पर बरसात होगा वहाँ पर बरसात नहीं होगा ठीक है wind का velocity कितना है and so on all those parameters comes into existence to say whether it will rain or not rain so when it is rain or not rain it can occur either way तो जब either way आएगा तो तुम्हारा linear regression वहाँ पे नहीं आएगा so ad hoc is basically preparing a descriptive chart using the knowledge तुम्हाला नाही रिग्रेशन किती मोठी बुक्स सिर्फ रिग्रेशन लोग 10 पेज या 12 पेज का नंतर 5 पेज में ऑर्गेनाइजर में स्टैट्स का बुक कर दोगे तो उसमें 15-20 पेज में खत्म हो जाएगा रिग्रेशन मैक्सिमम 30 पेजेस उसके ऊपर इतनी मोटी बुक्स डेटा विजुअलाइजेशन कर ही सकता है लेकिन वो एनएलपी में काम करता है क्योंकि उसका डेटा को कन्वर्ट करने के लिए ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन ऑफ डेटा दे कैन डू ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन दैट कैन कंपैरिजन Any other questions? No? So thank you. ताली बजाने के लिए कौन बोला? आदत हो गई।